Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're going to play with some new makeup. I've got nearly a full face of new stuff, so let's dive in. Alright, so what do we have here? We got a new foundation from Makeup Revolution. This is the Skin Silk Foundation. We've got a new mascara from Valentino. I've got Kosas Concealer, Kosas Powder, a new lip product from Tatcha, a new eyeshadow palette from ColourPop, new Charlotte Tilbury, and some new e.l.f. So yeah, let's dive on into these goodies. Some of this stuff I have been testing and playing with in the background. Some of this will be my first time playing with it. I'm going to start with just the kind of priming step for my face. And this is the Say Illuminating Gel, I believe is what this is called. Illuminating Super Gel. I got a little trial size of it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. This retails anywhere from $16 to $28 depending on the size you choose. But this is called the Glowy Super Gel Lightweight Dewy Multi-Purpose Illuminator. It comes in two shades, Star Glow and Sun Glow. Both are beautiful, by the way. It's a water-based multi-purpose illuminator that hydrates and brightens for a fresh, dewy look. Use it as a glowy prep step, spot highlight, or mix with skincare or foundation. It says plant-based glycerin, which is a powerful humectant to increase skin's natural moisture level. Olive-derived squalane locks in moisture and leaves skin quenched and visibly glowy. Rosehip seed oil, which is a rich antioxidant to visibly brighten and moisturize the skin. I would agree, this is very much like a skincare item with glow. Like, it's pretty awesome, and it's very thin and just sinks into the skin. And basically it goes on like a water cream. There's no greasy layer at all. It's really nice. So I'm going to take a couple pumps of this, about a pump and a half. I'm going to go ahead and put this all over the face so you can kind of see how it looks. I've been playing with this a little bit in the background. And I think I've used it in a couple of videos, but I don't know if I've really dived into it because I honestly can't remember. That's what happens when you film 5 days a week. You kind of forget what you've done. I'm putting this over the skincare I've applied earlier today. I did my Shiseido Vital Perfection cream and some Cica Ceramide Green Magic from Herbivore in my Pierre Thomas Roth Ultimate 5 Solution Eye Cream. But yeah, this just like totally disappears in texture, but it does leave a really pretty soft glow to the skin, and you can definitely build this up if you want to and get more from it. But what I like about it is that it doesn't interfere with your makeup. Like, it's not going to make your skin oily or anything like that. It just kind of goes on like a very thin moisturizer or like a water cream because it's water-based. So it's a lovely product in that respect. And I think it plays really well with most of my makeup. I haven't seen any issues there. Haven't noticed it causing any pilling or anything like that. And just, it gives the prettiest sheen. And that's what a light layer of it looks like on the face. It just gives this soft illuminance. Not nearly strong as like a floss filter or anything like that. This is a very soft illumination. I think it would be really, really good if you have a little bit of texture in your skin but you still want something glowy. This would be a great product to look at because it's not going to be too much on the skin. I'm going to build up a little bit on the high points and just see how it builds. And I have the shade Star Glow, which is the more kind of a light, cooler tone champagne. Oh yeah, it does build. And I'm really enjoying it. I got this, I think it's a Point Perk or something from Sephora. And I was just very intrigued by it. That's pretty. Very pretty. And I think they're sheer enough that you could use whatever shade you prefer for the glow. If you want something a little bit warmer, you could definitely use the Sun Glow and not be too much. They're very, very sheer. But yeah, that does build up and create a gorgeous, gorgeous illumination. I'm really enjoying that as a priming step. Now I'm going to jump over to the eyes. Doing things a little out of order, but I have the 1111 palette from ColourPop. I've wanted this palette for a while since it came out. I've been like, ooh, I need to get that palette. And just kind of kept forgetting about it. And I was in Ulta and saw it on the shelf and just grabbed it. I was like, yes, yes, I'm going to get it. I'm one of those people who like the 1111 thing. I'm into that. I'm a little woo-woo with the numbers. What can I say? I enjoy it. So anyways, this is the outer component. Very pretty. Got the little angel wings here because these are usually referred to as like angel numbers. I think there's something to it. So Anyway, outer component. Got the shade names on the back. And here is the palette itself. Inside, beautiful shades. Like really pretty shades. I'm loving these colors. And I know, like, at immediate glance, you think this looks an awful lot like Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude. Initially, yeah, glancing at it, they could look similar. And there's maybe a little tiny bit of overlap, but overall, I don't think they're similar at all. When you actually look at the shades compared to each other, they're different. They just happen to both be kind of neutral shades. That's pretty much it. The shimmers are different. There's more gold in here and champagne. And yeah, there is a little bit of taupe in here, so it might be like just maybe 2 or 3 shades that overlap. You have a really dark brown. You definitely have some deeper shades in here that you don't have in I Need a Nude. A little more vibrancy overall. And yeah, you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes. And one matte is a sparkly shade. It has the little glitters in it, which I don't know why ColourPop keeps doing that. Like, they don't do anything on the lid. There's no point in them. But they just keep sticking those in palettes so you can have glittery fallout. But yeah, I think it's a pretty color story though. I was really drawn to it. I like these deeper shades in here. I think it's really pretty. You could definitely do some nice glam with this palette and every day. It feels very versatile to me, and it's just, there's something about it's very satisfying, and it has nice little cute embossing on the shades themselves. So yeah, it feels like a very well thought out palette, and I've swatched it and I noticed that the shimmers in here have a bit more of a silkiness than a lot of ColourPop shadows have had. Like, they've definitely upgraded the formula. I feel like the formula's improved. The shimmers in here have a silky quality that does rival high-end eyeshadows in that respect. Very nice. Very, I wouldn't call it Natasha Denona comparable, but it's getting very close with the silkiness of the formulas. But these overall seem more opaque and a little less topper, wet effect look that the I Need a Nude really kind of focuses on. I Need a Nude is meant to be kind of definitely softer in look. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more drama. This might actually be closer to the Glam palette from Natasha than I Need a Nude, really. The only reason I bring that up is because I saw people suggesting that it was a dupe. And on closer inspection, it's not. Just in case you were curious about that. So we're going to get started with this palette, and it does retail for $18, which is not a bad price point for 12 shades in here. Pretty good, and the quality seems nice so far, just based on swatching. So you have 12 rich, modern nudes and ethereal shimmers, and a matte finish, metallic finish, pearlescent finish, glitter, and matte sparkle finish. Okay, let's start with a little bit of Lucky Babe and see how that does for adding some shadow to the socket line. Lucky Babe is this one right here. This soft taupe. I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush to begin. Not seeing a ton of kick up like I normally do with ColourPop. And my lids are primed with just a little bit of NYX eye primer. This shade's pretty light, but it is adding a little bit of definition. This one might be one of the few that is duped in I Need a Nude. It reminds me a bit of, not Mesh, I can't think which shade it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little building. This one does blend out to be a little bit more of a yellowy base rather than a pinky base. It definitely adds a nice kind of contoured shape to the socket line. It's a good transition shade. But I haven't bought anything ColourPop in, I don't know, maybe well over a year for sure. Been a while. Possibly longer than that. I was curious if anything's changed with their formulas, because I've always loved them. They do great eyeshadow formula. Definitely, I feel like there is some improvement within this palette. Like, they've made them even better. Yeah, that's quite nice. Just a nice transition shade. All right, I'm going to go to a... do eyes first, because I don't know what the fallout situation will be with this palette, because in my experience with ColourPop, they're a little dusty, and that I get a lot of fallout with them. So that's why I'm doing eyes first today. So, but yeah, we're going Sigma blending brush here. This is an E25. And I think I'm going to try a little bit of the shade called Protection right here. Just kind of pretty peachy color. Let's see what that does a little bit tighter into the crease. So So I'm experimenting. Oh boy, that one has a ton of kick up. Holy cow. Okay, that one's very dusty. So I'm really gonna knock my brush off. Whoa. That's the ColourPop I know. Just kind of build that up in here. I'm just going to try to use a good mini shades and see what they do. That's pretty. That is really pretty. It's a nice soft peach. Again, can function as a transition. A lot of kick up on that boy. Holy cow. Okay, pigmentation. Definitely buildable. I think a difference with this palette with I Need a Nude, though, for sure, was going to be that this one's going to be more versatile for deeper skin tones, whereas I Need a Nude, I don't know if it's the most universally useful palette, because it is very, very light and very desaturated. This one definitely has a little bit more depth in it and pigmentation. It's going to be a little more user-friendly and workable for multiple skin tones. Not user-friendly. It's going to be a little more workable for multiple skin tones. Because I will say that, like, I Need a Nude is fairly limiting. Alright, let's deepen up a little more. We're going to use Right Path. This one right here. It's a deeper, kind of mid-tone warm brown. It's a warm brown with a desaturated quality to it, where it's muted. Like, these shades have a soft color to them. Alright, this one's not kicking up as much. Boy, that protection shade, really. I took that a little deeper. Okay, yep, this one's more pigmented for sure, too. Definitely deepening things up. Very nice. Very pretty. What a pretty color. And that's not, if you see a little spot there, that's a freckle. I didn't conceal my lids today like I normally do, because I have that freckle there and it always looks like my eyeshadow's not blended. It is very much a freckle. I just forgot, mostly. I was so excited to sit down here and do some eyeshadow. Yeah, these are blending out really easily, though. Very smooth. Very, very smooth. That's quite pretty. Oh, yeah. And she is buildable. That's adding some very nice depth. Cool. All right, I like that. I like that color a lot. I'm liking the way these are layering up with each other, too. This little bit right here is looking like what I would do with I Need a Nude. But this is about as deep as you could get with I Need a Nude, aside from the one dark brown. This one you definitely have room to go deeper. So I am going to go a step down into the shade called Empowered, which is next door to the previous one. This is just a deeper brown with a bit of that same muted quality. And we'll take it with a E27 detail blending. Yeah, this one's not having a lot of kick up either. I'm going to tap that off. And I'm going to start to build it right out here on this outer corner. Oh yeah, that's deepening her up good. Very pretty. Lovely. That's some nice depth. Yeah, it's a nice, very neutral, deep, shadowy brown. Very shadowy. I'm a fan of that kind of tone lately. I will do more of an in-depth video with this palette, and I'll compare them side by side with I Need a Nude, and kind of do a little bit more of a thorough comparison. And I want to play with a little more, get a good feel for it. So this is just gonna be a first impression. I also think I'm gonna compare it to like Stone Cold Fox and a couple other ColourPop palettes that I have. I know this has been out a minute, but I think it's interesting, because it's still a fairly new launch. I feel like ColourPop's kind of slowed down their launches a little bit, which, thank you. It was getting a little out of hand. That is really blending easily. I mean, ColourPop's always blended easily, but this, I think there's an improvement. I will stand by that statement. I'm going to take just a little bit more of that peachy shade right around the edge. I do think ColourPop can be redundant a lot of times with their palettes. Like, they have the new one that just came out or is coming out called Elemental, which looks not that unique. Like, in their collection, I'm like, I've seen this palette before. I feel like I've definitely seen this before. All right, now I'm going to take this deepest shade here called Divine. This one has the sparkle in it. Not a huge fan of that, but it's not. It's going to function as a matte. Sparkle really doesn't really do a whole lot, except kind of create a little bit of fallout. But they've improved that formula. It's not quite as annoying as it used to be. I remember like some of the early palettes with that. I was like, oh, they were a mess. All right, I'm gonna take it on a little liner brush. Have a detailed liner brush here. Yeah, it's definitely not nearly as messy. It's not going everywhere when I dip into it. So it's the shade right here on the end called Divine, which is really pretty. I mean, the sparkle in it is pretty. It's pretty to look at. But I've had some where that sparkle just goes everywhere. It's definitely a little more firmly packed than it used to be. I'm gonna put this right here. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's a nice depth. That's very good. And yet, oh, it's not making a mess. Awesome. I'm seeing a couple of the sparkles too in application. I've seen a few in there, but it's gonna function virtually as a matte shade. I wouldn't get excited about the sparkles. I think they do that just to say they did something. And it's just pretty eye candy when you look at the palette. Virtually pointless. Just make it a matte. I always thought that was an odd choice that Tati did those shades like that in her little palette. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely get a beautiful matte look from this. Very classic color story. I don't think they were intentionally trying to dupe Natasha Denona. I think they were just kind of doing what was trending. ColourPop doesn't strike me as a brand that bothers to like intentionally dupe. They just like follow more color trends, I think, with their palettes. I like that they do palettes that are kind of focused on a color story and really kind of lean into that. Hardly any fallout. I have a little bit of transfer right there. I always do that because I squint. But we'll tie that up in a moment. It's not a big deal. Let's go on to a shimmer. Really want to get my fingers in. The shimmers in here feel very, very silky. The pearlescence in some of them are so pretty. Like the shade Total Angel is just a really pretty pearlescent white. It's not super opaque. It's just pretty. The shade Balanced feels like silk. And Reflect definitely has a bit more of a super shock kind of sparkly formula to it. And then this one's just more of a soft pearlescent metallic. And then just a classic metallic gold up there. But it's a soft gold. Very flattering colors. Let's take a bit of, I don't know. Where do we want to go with this? Let's do a little bit of major change, which is this taupey metallic here. I just want to see what it looks like kind of onto the lid, merging into our deeper color. Yeah, very nice silky texture. Applies really well. Classic, nice metallic. Smooth metallic. Yeah. I'm using a Morphe M24. You know, I would like to try ColourPop's brushes. They have such cute little brush sets. And I always think, I should get some of those. And then I don't. I forget. That looks really pretty. That's a pretty color. And that one is quite similar to a shade within I Need a Nude, but not exactly. It's still different. It's still different. This is definitely a little more of a yellow undertone to it. Whereas everything in I Need a Nude tends to go a little more on the pink undertone. That's lovely. I'm going to take some of Balanced, which is a very silky feeling shade. This pinky one right here. And it can be a little bit similar to a shade from I Need a Nude as well. But I think it's not quite as wet effect. But this one has a really nice kind of silky feel to it. A little more of a pearlescent. We're going to take on the same brush. I'm going to put that right here on the inner part and let that blend over. It's definitely reminiscent of the shade called Mia from the ColourPop palette. From the I Need a Nude palette. Here's what I think. This palette's just less nuanced. What you see is what you're getting with it. Whereas Natasha's is a pleasant, nuanced surprise. This will give that wet effect look to the lid. So you can get a similar vibe here, I do believe, but not a dupe. If you just enjoy that little more of a muted color story, you're going to get it here. I think this one might be just a nice combination of the two palettes, the Glam palette and this one. And I Need a Nude. This one definitely leans less pink and more so just truly kind of neutral. But that's a very pretty, very elegant colors. And yeah, the blend is wonderful. Very easy to work with. I'm going to build up a little more of Divine on this brush. I'm going to come right here. There we go. And yeah, I am getting a little, a few sparkles from that. But nothing that's taking away or adding to the look. You can dust them away if they bug you pretty easily. Balanced, the shade we put right here. It does have some bits of micro sparkle in it that you can't really see in the pan, but when you apply it, you definitely can see them, which is pretty. All right, I'm gonna take some of Total Angel, which is that white pearlescent right here, and really put that on my inner part. Oh, that's nice. That's so brightening. Ooh, pretty. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit on my blending brush. We can graze the brow bone. Oh yeah, that's quite pretty. Like that would make a pretty highlighter a bit. Good job, ColourPop. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna just clean that little bit of fallout I got there. It's more just user error. That's me. That's not the palette on that part. This is why I do my eyes first. But yeah, overall, hardly any fallout at all. Just a couple of rogue sparkles. Not a big deal. Nothing like a Huda palette, that's for sure. All right, very pretty. Now let's move on to the skin. I've got a new foundation here from Makeup Revolution. This is the Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation. I got the shade F2 because I think that's the shade I have in my other foundation from them. So looks like this. Really nice glass bottle. This frosted kind of ombre effect. Very pretty. And you have a great pump here. Very luxe packaging. Like this is heavy. It feels like a high-end foundation. Definitely feels substantial. And it retails for $14. Comes in 20 shades. It's lightweight, breathable foundation. So it's undetectable. Your skin but better feel. All skin types. Coverage without compromise. It says it has hyaluronic acids and peptides to boost collagen. I'm going to try it with a sponge and see what it does. It says you can apply it any way you want. It's up to you. They don't recommend anything in particular. It says finger, sponge, brush, whatever. So I'm going to see what it does on a sponge first, and then I might go in with a brush if I don't love it. So I'm going to take my little Kosas sponge here. We're going to hope this is a good shade match. Pump some out. Very thin. Very, oh, goodness, very thin and runny texture. Very silky feel. Very thin and watery. Oh, okay, I don't think a sponge just kind of soaks it all up. All right. I know this is meant to be a bit more of a light coverage, but it does say it can be built up a bit. I don't know if I love a sponge with this one. So I feel like it just kind of soaks up most of the product because it's so very thin and the sponge is damp. So if you want a very sheer coverage, sponge. I'm gonna swap to a brush. Just that's my preferred method anyways. I just wanted to see what it would do. Let me show you this texture real quick, how runny it is. Like, she's dripping. She's watery. All right, I'm gonna take a little dense brush. There we go. That's better. That's what I'm looking for. It looks pretty. This is the first time I'm putting this on my skin, so we are going in blind. That is a perfect shade match. Wow, I did good. Because it's actually kind of hard to pick a shade through this glass. As beautiful as it is, it's hard to pick a shade. So you're really relying on that little cardboard thing telling you the colors and the undertone. I just remembered that I believe F2 is the shade I have in my IRL filter foundation that matches me fairly well. So it's like, okay, we'll just get the same shade. But yeah, 20 shades is pretty decent shade range. And it looked like it ran pretty deep. Like it had a good spectrum of colors. This is fragranced. And I'm getting like a soft floral from it. I think there's a fragrance in here. There's a very soft floral fragrance coming from it. Which doesn't bother me any. But some people are very sensitive to that sort of thing. But it's very, very soft. Yeah, this is so thin. And it does look very skin-like. That is a pretty beautiful product. Just on initial impression here of applying it, this is pretty. This is so pretty. It definitely can be built. Like I had a pimple right there. Can you see it? I can't. Heck yeah. And again, man, I nailed it on that shade match. I was having some bad luck with shade matches lately. Like I just was not doing a good job on that. But yeah, I'm doing kind of a stamping, patting motion with the brush, and that is giving me a really good coverage level. I don't see any texture get emphasized. It doesn't look dry or anything like that on the skin. It looks fresh and nice and what I want from my foundation. Ooh. All right, Makeup Revolution. I don't know if this is meant to be duping anything. Let me know down below if you think it is. I gotta give it to Makeup Revolution. They do really good on complexion. Like they do. Their formulas are very, very nice. Yeah, that is looking quite flawless. Oh yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful light to light medium coverage foundation. Perfect. Evening out the redness. Taking down anything that I want taken down. But I can still see a little bit of my freckly come through, which I like. With a brush, I'm loving it. Sponge, too light a coverage. But okay, that's beautiful. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of cream contour. I'm going to take my little e.l.f. beauty wand and fair light. I'm just going to do a little bit of shaping and shadowiness, contouring on the cheekbone and jawline, a bit around the nose. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the end of a complexion brush. Just take it from the tube here. And just add this where I want the most shadowiness to be. I don't really need a whole lot here, honestly. I've got pretty strong shadow there as it is. I'm just taking the other side and blending it up and out. Nice. I'm really enjoying this shade. The lightest contour shade from e.l.f. Very nice. I like the next shade up for a bronzer though. They definitely make a great little pairing. But I got another bronzer I want to try out today. Or, well, not sure. I've been using it, but I haven't really talked about it a ton. We got another bronzer to use. It's new. Now for bronzer, I have from Milani, their new cream bronzer in Hey Honey. It's the lightest shade, 110. Really pretty. It's, I would say, honestly comparable to the majority of cream bronzers on the market. Very blendable, nice creamy putty formula. It's a little less emollient than the blushes, so it's a little more easy to control. I would say it's very, very similar to the bronzer in the Patrick Ta palettes in his bronzer contours in formula. Very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Ghost Glow bronzer. Very, very similar texture and look on the skin. Like, it's definitely a close dupe to those. So I'm going to take it on this side of my little e.l.f. Duo Complexion. And I'm going to start this on the forehead. I got this from Alex and Ellie of just putting the bronzer on the forehead rather than contour as well. Just to bring that warmth in. And I really like it. I think that is such a smart little idea. And I never thought to do that. But this is definitely warm toned. It's not a contour. It's definitely a bronzer. This has that more of a yellow undertone to it. It's not pinky. If you like a more yellow tone bronzer, here you go. But it's pretty. And look, it shears out really nicely. Very easy to work with. And easy to control. It's not going to go over apply on you. It's very, very user friendly. And just take a little bit If I take too much, I'll do this number, kind of work it to the brush, do a little bit right here, just for a bit of a sun-kissed kind of feel. And again, works in tandem with the contour really nicely. Definitely warms the skin up really well while still being very kind of sheer and doesn't look heavy. It's very light looking on the skin. Very good. If you're looking for a new cream bronzer, I would definitely recommend this one from Milani. It's Chef's Kiss. A lot easier to use to me than the liquidy cream bronzers or liquid bronzers like this one from e.l.f. and Milani makes one in the tube. This is easier, much easier to control and keep from going everywhere. It blends out like a dream. I'm gonna do a little bit of blush. And for blush, I'm going to take this one from Milani. This is the Cheek Kiss in 120 Coral Crush. Not new, I've had this for a while. I'm just going to put a little bit on the cheeks, not a huge amount. I'm just going to use the same brush. Tap a little bit in. I saw they have some new shades of this out as well, which I'm excited to get my little paws on. I picked one up and I put it down, and I don't know why I did that. That's such a pretty blush. I love it. That's one of my favorite like summery blushes. Let's do a little bit of concealing with the Kosas concealer. I can't remember the full name of this. Revealer concealer. I got the little trial size of it. And I have it in the shade 1.5C. Could be a little brighter on me, but it's nice. And I've been using this one quite a bit. Did a wear test already. I'm loving this concealer. This is a really good formula. It's a little yellow on me, which I hear that they've improved this undertone situation. I guess maybe they just didn't for these minis. They're not in the new undertones because this is a bit yellow, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Especially if you have a lot of redness, it can kind of help cancel that out. But I like a little bit of a brighter look under the eyes. All right, I'm blending this with my little Kosas sponge that come in the set. I do enjoy this little sponge as well. It's so cute, and I like the little pointy tip. And get right up in there. This is a very, very pretty concealer. The formulation is nice. It is a really pretty concealer. It's very smooth looking. Has a nice kind of like hydrating feel without settling into fine lines and stuff too badly. It wears really nicely. I don't feel like this is a foundation that I'm needing a lot of concealing with or anything. Definitely think this foundation is going to be great for underpainting. I'm loving the complexion today. I'm just going to take my foundation brush and make sure everything's kind of merging together. I always like to do this. Just make sure there's a flow of all the product and everything. Now let's set this down with a little bit of the Kosas powder. This is the Airy powder and Cloud Set powder. I think I've actually used this in a trying new makeup video. I can't remember. So take a little bit of it. I'm, again, really enjoying this powder. I'm going to take it on a little brush, set my under eyes. And it wears well under the eyes and all over the face. It's not a one that has any real caveats to it. It's a solid powder. It's a nice baked formula. It definitely softens pores and all of that and gives a little bit of a smoothing effect. And it's not overly matte that you look cakey flat. All right, now that the under eyes are pretty much set, I'm going to take it on a lower puff. And I just kind of press in and pat in the T-zone here where I get the oiliest. Playing well with the foundation also. I'm going to go over to the Glowgasm palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Glowgasm Face palette, which has these 4 beautiful shades in it. I just got this not too long ago from Sephora. I already done a video about it and first impression and review type of thing. I'm still loving it, so there's a little update. But since it's new, I thought we'd go ahead and include it. New to me anyway. And I'm going to take the bronzer first and go ahead and kind of set over everywhere I bronze. The bronzer here is very sheer, light, with a nice skin-like glow to it. Like not shiny, not shimmery, but skin-like. And just gives that really nice warmth. Pairs really well with the Milani bronzer. See, just a nice soft warm sheen it gives. I do like the effect of this. I think I showed how to do like a whole face with this palette. If you're interested in that, it'll be linked in the eye. As well as my full like review wear test of the Kosas concealer and powder. I did do a whole wear test of that and everything. So if that's up already, I'll link that as well. I'm including it in new stuff today because it's new. You know, it's not really like the star of the show. And I'm going to take the little blush pop shade right here on the cheeks over top of the blush. This will give glow and a bit of pinky flush. It's so pretty. So pretty. 10 out of 10 for this palette. I think I'm going to use a little bit of that shade from the 1111 palette for highlighting. Moving on lower lash line, I've got this little no budge stick from e.l.f. I picked up the other day. This is in the shade Rose Gold, and this is their no budge eyeshadow stick, and it's such a pretty color. I tested it in a vlog and used it as kind of like an eye base. Phenomenal for that. And this is such a just lovely, soft rose gold color. Like, it's just really pretty. It's not super warm. Like, it has a bit of an iciness to it. I'm going to use it on the lower lash line and waterline to kind of start out under there. And it gives such a really nice effect on the lower lash line. I didn't want to use it on the upper lid today because we're testing out the palette, but I want to show it to you in action on the lower lash line. There you go, if you can see it. I really like that. It's so soft and subtle. I think it looks really good in the waterline though. There's a very subtle brightness in there. I'm definitely gonna have to pick up some more of these because I think I'm gonna like this formula. It's just really nice because I've tried one of their no budge sticks before and I didn't like it at all. It was from the cookies and cream collection. I was no, decluttered it. But this one's really good. So I don't know, maybe there's a discrepancy there. I was looking for a more affordable version of the Bobbi Brown ones. All right, let's jump back to our palette. I'm going to clean my little flat brush here off and take some of Protection, that peachy shade. Make sure I really tap it off because she pigmented, or she's dusty. I'll rub a bit of that under here. Not so much pigmented as it's just dusty. And I'm going to take some of Right Path, or mid-tone, right here. Build that up under there. Nice little shadowy effect. I'll take a little bit of Empowerment, this one. Same brush, just kind of on one side of it. And just tuck it out here. Liner brush and that deepest shade called Divine. And just pressing it into the palette, tap off, and then press. I like using that e.l.f. pencil in the lower lash line too, because it gives me something for the shadow to kind of cling to a bit. I know, it's working out for me really well. That's been something I've kind of been struggling with lately, is lower lash line. It either just gets way too away from me or not enough. Like, I'm having a little bit of an issue there. And that pencil might have been the answer I needed. I'm just going to clean this little brush off. Liner brush. I'm going to take some of Major Change. Just basically copying what we did on the upper lash line. Upper lid, rather. Put that shade in there. And then I'm going to take some of Balance, that light pinky shade. Come right here. Nice. And we'll do Total Angel, that white pearlescent, right in here. Very inner part. Alright, I'm actually going to use that as a cheek highlight as well. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This brush right here I like to use for highlight and just other various things. I'm going to clean it off. And we're going to take some of that Total Angel shade on this and graze it right here. Oh yeah, that's nice. What a nice highlighter on my ghostly skin. That works very well. And give my lashes a quick little curl. I'm actually not even going to use eyeliner today. I don't feel like we need it. except maybe in that upper waterline, tight line. Might stick some brown under there. And for mascara, I have this one from Valentino that I want to talk a little bit more about because it's really nice. This is the Valentino Magnificent Stretch Volume Mascara. This is so nice. You guys. Okay, it's got a very traditional wand. Oh, I hate how much I like this mascara. This is in the black shade. But it gives crazy length and volume. It has a tendency to go a bit clumpy if you go in a little too heavy-handed. So definitely one that I would say take your time with applying. Make sure there's not too much product on the brush. But it does build up really, really well. And gives such a beautiful lift and volume and all the things. And it has incredible wear time. It is water resistant. Like occasionally it might get smudged because my eyes like pouring water or something. But as far as like flaking or transfer, nah. It is 10 out of 10 in that respect. I really want more from Valentino Beauty. I love the look of the Valentino makeup products. Those eyeshadow palettes they have 2 now. I can't decide which one I want. And you get a decent amount of product in there, which I think is really cool. Like, it's not just some little quad. It's like 2 quads in one. And now they have the 2 different colorways you can choose from. And the color stories are beautiful. They have some basic colors in them, but there's also a little bit of fun, a little bit of glam in there. You know, for a luxury eyeshadow palette, usually a quad is pretty expensive. So I think for the amount you're getting within those and the beautiful compact that looks like a purse, I don't think it's more reasonable than a Tom Ford quad or something like a YSL quad. It's a little bit more reasonable, but still a lot of money. But if I'm trying to justify it to myself and put it in some perspective. But there's a lot from Valentino that I would like to try out. They have some really beautiful looking product. And all the compacts are refillable, so you don't have to buy the whole thing every time. You can get the refill. It's a little bit cheaper, which is a nice benefit. Oh, and Prada Beauty. Prada Beauty has some pretty palettes. Really fun color stories. They have that one with the yellow in it. Yellow and gray. And I see Celine is coming out with makeup. I saw like the teaser image of just like the outer components. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, I've really gotten to where I'm into a lot of the stuff from Celine, like their bags and clothing. I think it's so pretty. Like, that's definitely kind of my style of handbags, shoes, clothing. It's very much Celine and Prada. I look at that Celine website a lot and lust over things. Window shop, for sure. Digital window shopping. Okay, but look at this mascara. I think I tried it for the first time within the video where I was reviewing this and was just floored. And I mentioned it a few more times. I really wanted to focus on it today, though, a bit, and talk about it. Now, do I think you need to run out and buy it? No. Get a sample. Just get the sample. You'll be fine. And it'll last you the recommended amount of time for a mascara, if you ask me. If it comes to a luxury mascara, I'm always going to pick the sample over the full size any day and save some money. Because you're not really supposed to keep using these beyond the 3-month mark. Though we all do it. But yeah, the full size does retail for $32. It's called the Magnificent Smudge Proof Volumizing Mascara. A long-lasting smudge proof volumizing mascara that enhances your eyelashes with up to 15 times more volume for a false lash makeup effect. No flaking, no smudging, clump-free, long wear. 10 out of 10 agree. Absolutely agree with those claims. I think, yeah, this is one of those mascaras that does live up to the hype. I've tried a lot of luxury mascaras and have been very disappointed in them. The only two that I feel like really have lived up to the hype is this one from Valentino and the YSL Lash Clash. They're the only two that I would say if you wanted to splurge and treat yourself to a high-end mascara, they'd be the ones to do it with, to go for. Particularly this one. I think it's even nicer than the Lash Clash. But if you can get a sample of it, just get a sample. But I mean, that's really nice looking. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, we got a little clumpy there. I mean, I was sitting there just running my mouth and applying. I didn't pay attention. Yeah, go me. Now, I do have a new e.l.f. lipstick that I'm going to swatch and show you. Just to show you, because I also think it would be kind of pretty with this look. But I have another lip option that I really want to wear. Ugh. Sort this hair out really quick. So from e.l.f. I do have one of the O Face lipsticks. This is in the shade No Regrets. And I think this would be really pretty with the look today. It is kind of a, not your usual red. Like there's a little bit something to this red. It's a little bit more nuanced. So I'm going to go ahead and like apply it and kind of swatch it just to show you what it looks like. Because I think it's really pretty. But I have a lippy from Tatcha that I think we're going to actually end up settling on today. And we put a little bit of lip liner because when I'm wearing a red lipstick, I need a little bit of liner to kind of guide things along because I'm a little bit messy. But we do a very soft amount so it doesn't take away from the lipstick. I'm going to use just a little bit of Walk of No Shame just to give myself an outline. Okay, so this is called No Regrets. Again, the packaging, 10 out of 10 e.l.f. Great job here. Feels like a luxury product. It feels like a NARS lipstick, formula-wise and packaging-wise. Look at that. The attention to detail here. Pretty good. I do have one of these in a neutral shade as well. I think that's such a nice shade of red. These are kind of a satin matte formula. It's either fully matte, but they're not fully satin either. Kind of in between. A little more, traditional lipstick formula. A very easy to wear type of red shade that I think can go with a lot of looks. So I wanted to show you that because I just picked it up and just what a nice shade it is. So yeah, if you're looking for like a little bit more of an easier to wear red, there you go. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful red. And I think it would be really pretty for summer. I'm gonna take this off. And I mean, it looks good with this look. But I really want to show you this lip product from Tatcha before we end this video out. So Tatcha came out with some new lip products. Kind of dabbling in the makeup game a bit here with this. This is the Kiss You Lip Tint with Broadband Spectrum SPF 25. This retails for $34. It comes in 3 shades. I have it in the shade Camellia, which is described as a buildable soft red color. I disagree with that. I think it's a bit more, not so red as it is kind of mauve-y, pink. I don't see the red in it, but that's how they describe it. This is a hydrating lip tint with sunscreen, buildable, blendable, soft red color, silk protein and botanical lanolin infused. So yeah, the packaging comes in a box like this, beautiful Tatcha box. Yeah, like this, shade on top. And see, that looks like what I think it would be. But when I applied it, I don't see that. And this is mineral sunscreen as well. Made in Japan. But the component is stunning. Look at that. This is metal. This is super heavy and weighty. This feels like a luxury product. 10 out of 10. Definitely does. I mean, for $34, it better. For a lip tint. And here's the lipstick itself. See, I don't think it looks that reddish myself. That's just me. That's just me. I don't think it looks very red. Really make sure there's no extra pigment on my lips. And like, I don't see red. I see my lips but better color. But it is very pretty. Very soft. Feels amazing on the lips. So that's what it looks like just on its own. I'm going to do a little swatch here. So you can see. It's like, I wouldn't call that soft red. Now, I'm going to tell you, this one One little critique about it, you do taste the sunscreen. This is unscented, unflavored, so you are going to get a hit of that sunscreen taste from it. But it is a sunscreen. But you know how when you apply sunscreen, get a little bit in your mouth? Sometimes it can happen. It gets on your lips or whatever. You're going to get that with this. You definitely taste the sunscreen in it. So there's that. But it feels really nice on lips, and the sunscreen taste doesn't linger. So at least there's that about it. But that's my one little complaint, is that it does have the sunscreeny taste. But it is so silky on the lips. It feels so nice. And it is a beautiful color. It's a very wearable color. And they do have really, all three shades are very pretty. I had a hard time picking a shade. I want to do this with a little bit of lip liner because I think it looks pretty with a touch of lip liner. But I just want to give you a look at it just on my lips. It's definitely super hydrating. It feels very pillowy, thin, comfortable on the lips. Just that sunscreen taste is there. It is apparent. Lip liner, I'm going to use Los Angeles from NYX. This is one of the Suede Matte lip liners. I feel like this shade just kind of matches it really well. You see, the color does build up. And it's very pretty, very comfortable, not sticky, super satiny, silky feel. Like it glides on. And you definitely feel a lot of hydration from this product. I feel like it plumps up the lip a little bit and kind of smooths out lines. And feels very nourishing if you don't mind a little bit of a sunscreen taste. And want to treat yourself a bit, this is a very nice lip tint. All three shades are gorgeous. So yeah, this would be such a beautiful gift because it's so luxe. I mean, this component is beautiful up close. Like this little metal bit and just the ASMR for you, a little ASMR for you. Very, very luxe and very comfortable. And after a few minutes, you kind of don't notice the sunscreen taste. It definitely dissipates. So that's cool. Now, last thing for lips I do want to show you. I picked up another one of these plumpers from Maybelline because I like the burn. I'm a weirdo. And guess what? My mother-in-law said the same thing. She likes the stingy, burny lip plumpers as well because I gave her the Milani one because I had it in like a kind of a purpley shade that would look really pretty on her. It was just a little too much on me, but she's a bit deeper skin tone than me and a different undertone and dark hair. I thought it would look really nice on her. So anyways, she likes that kind of stuff too. Like, ha, I'm not the only weirdo out there. So yeah, I got it in the shade Hot Honey. I'm gonna pop some of this on. Just on top for some extra glossiness. I wanted one that was a little bit more of a clear look, so I went with this kind of pretty golden honey color. It's pretty sheer. Apparent sheer. And I love it. I love it. But yeah, okay. We're done. This is the face complete. Let's talk about these products real quick. The Skin Silk from Makeup Revolution is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the skin is skinning today. And look, my fine lines don't look emphasized. They actually look very smooth. There's no caking, no gathering. It definitely gives a bit of that kind of soft focus look to the skin. It's not super matte. It's not super glowy. It's a nice in-between finish. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous on the skin. I don't know anything about the wear time or anything beyond that, so I will definitely have a full wear test and review of this coming soon. And, but so far it is absolutely beautiful. Again, the Kosas stuff is lovely. I'm very much enjoying that. The 1111 palette, gorgeous, gorgeous. It can, I think, potentially dupe the vibe a little bit of I Need a Nude, but it is not the same. It is not the same. But it is still a beautiful palette, very easy to work with, blended like an absolute dream, and I love the eye look I created with it. So I'll definitely be doing some more with this. The Tatcha Lip Matte Kiss You Lip Tint, Very nice luxe lip tint. Really, really beautiful. I really love the packaging. It's so pretty to look at and just satisfying. The e.l.f. No Budge Stick. Is that what this was called? Yeah, No Budge Shadow Stick. Very nice. Very, very nice in the shade Rose Gold. Looks great and performs really well. Definitely a fan of that. The Milani Bronzer is beautiful. If you want a nice, soft cream bronzer to warm up the skin, here you go. And they do have this in quite a few shades as well. And yeah, I think it looks great on the skin. Plays well with everything else. The Say Gel, Illuminating Gel. I'm really into this. This is a lovely, lovely product. I think it would work wonderfully for all skin types. And just, it feels really nourishing and hydrating. Good stuff. The e.l.f. lipstick in No Regrets. Beautiful, beautiful kind of nuanced red. A wearable red, if you will. The Valentino mascara. A 10 out of 10 home run. Right there. And of course, Glowgasm is amazing. I'm obsessed with it. And the spicy lip gloss. I'm all about that spicy lip gloss. Okay, I think that is everything that I want to talk about today. I think so. I might have been repeating myself a little bit in this one with products. I can't remember. I can't remember at this point. But anyway, there'll be more product updates to come, and I'll let you know if I have any more opinions and thoughts on these things. They will be in upcoming product update videos, and as I play with them more, and I will do a devoted video to the 1111 palette and really create a super glam look with it and test its capabilities out some more. But on first impression, enjoying it. We'll be doing a wear test and full review of the Skin Silk. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.